Part 18. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 171. After taking Kazugayama Castle, Lujin did not stay too much. Pack up all the supplies and transport them to Changgang City by the Red Flame Goshawk. For Lujin, Changgang City is their real stronghold. As for other cities, they can only be regarded as resting strongholds at best. After all the troops were settled, Lujin opened his backpack and began to take stock of the few treasure boxes he had just obtained. After killing several people in Yosemite Dingman, Lujin obtained some epic treasure chests. Without any hesitation, Lujin decisively chose to synthesize the treasure chest. Ding! Congratulations on getting the golden legendary 4-elephant treasure chest. Ding! Congratulations on getting the golden legendary 5 elements treasure box. Obtained 2 golden legendary treasure chests. It's a pity that no matter how many golden legendary treasure chests there are, they can't be combined into a 7-color holy treasure chest. The colorful holy treasure chest is more precious than the golden legendary treasure chest. The system also clearly told Lujin that the colorful holy treasure chest cannot be obtained by using the synthetic treasure chest function. Otherwise, Lujin would have already started accumulating golden legendary treasure chests. System, upgrade all treasure chests. After the upgrade, all golden legendary treasure chests will be opened directly. Now Lujin can be said to be wealthy. He even looked down upon the golden legendary treasure chest. As a series of upgrade prompts sounded, all the golden legendary treasure chests in Lujin's backpack were upgraded. After the upgrade, the treasure chest opened automatically, and a series of treasure prompts sounded in Lujin's ears. Ding! Congratulations on getting the golden legendary item Shadow Mask. Ding! Congratulations on getting the golden legendary weapon Sunset Divine Bow. Ding! Congratulations on getting the golden legendary book Ashinaken Shinryu. Lujin listened to the system prompts. When he heard Shadow Mask, the expression on his face changed slightly. Mask of Shadow. Another prop that I was familiar with in my previous life. Lujin opened his backpack and took out the Shadow Mask he had obtained. Name Shadow Mask. Quality Golden Legendary Level. Effect 1. To summon a Shadow Warrior, 1st level realm, it costs 1000 gold coins to summon. Effect 2. Summoning the Shadow Hound, 1st level realm, costs 1000 gold coins. Effect 3. Summoning the Shadow Strike Tentacle, 1st level realm, costs 1000 gold coins. P.S. Depending on the number of gold coins spent, the strength of the summoned objects will be different. Spend gold coins to summon various shadow creatures. In the World Sea area of the previous life, there was a lord who relied on the Shadow Mask to become a famous shadow mercenary in the World Sea. A small Shadow Mask can summon up to 18 kinds of shadow creatures. These 18 types of shadow creatures cover a series of functions such as assassination, storming, reconnaissance, and tracking. It has to be said that in his previous life, Lujin never dreamed of getting a Shadow Mask. But now that it really fell into Lujin's hands, Lujin didn't want it that much. After all, he now has the strength of the immortal realm. Even if thousands of first-level experts attack them in groups, he can still destroy them with a single move. After thinking for a moment, Lujin smiled slightly. He has already thought about who should give this Shadow Mask to. In this way, a few more days passed, and Lujin successfully captured the Takeda family again. But compared to Nagao Kagetora, after Takeda Harinobu's national destiny was swallowed up by Lujin, the dragon energy did not even grow an extra one. Ichiro Takeda, but as long as we unite, our power is indestructible. Now that their survival is at stake, they must unite. If it were Lujin, Lujin would greet them without hesitation, just in time to harvest Oda Nobunaga and the others in one go. At the same time, the entire chat channel in Sakura country was completely in chaos. Ichiro Takeda, as long as everyone unites, even the bastards from the ancient country, Ryuuka, are nothing more than souls killed by our swords. Azaheli, what should we do next? Do we have to sit back and wait for death? But a closer look shows that no matter how many of these forces fled, they never left the confines of Sakura Island. What is the treasure they are looking for? Servant Yamato, those despicable invaders wantonly killed our Sakura compatriots and plundered our land. What should we do? No matter what conflicts they had before. Takeda Bear, damn it, Takeda Harunobu was killed by Lord Ryahan of Ryuuka, and now the entire Ikago and our area are occupied by Ryuuka. Tokugawa Ieyasu's family will form an alliance with Oda Nobunaga. Lujin touched his chin and became interested in this mysterious treasure. But other forces seemed to come to Sakura Island for sightseeing. Is there anything more rare than the luck of the country? The huge Sakura alliance is formed, and almost 90% of the surviving Sakura families have joined this huge alliance. And at this moment, immediately after, Lord Sakura, who represented Tokugawa Ieyasu's will, also appeared. But soon Lord Sakura stood up. But what is strange is that these forces decisively chose to give in when facing the Sakura alliance. They were still confused about the simultaneous invasion of 5 countries. If we don't unite, we will perish. In other words, their purpose is different from Lujin's. Lujin couldn't help but narrow his eyes slightly as he looked at the direction of the Sakura alliance's advance and the direction in which other countries' forces were fleeing shown on the map. For a time, many Sakura daimyo joined the alliance. Yoshima Umko, it's not easy on our side either. Lord Yeotang's troops are equally fierce. It's only a matter of time before we are defeated. Oda Nobunaga, as soon as this name appeared, it immediately ignited the confidence of many Sakura lords. In just a few days, their footprints were all over Sakura Island, as if they were looking for something. At first glance, it seems that the establishment of the Sakura alliance made other forces feel the danger and fled in defeat. The words King Arthur's treasure immediately appeared in Lujin's mind. Ichiro Takeda, I have contacted Oda Nobunaga. From now on, we will join forces and please convince the daimyo of each region. Ichiro Takeda, everyone, it's not time to give up yet. The reason why we were crushed by the invaders was because we were too spread out. Huh? That's interesting. At this time, Yeotang, ancient Egypt, and the Vikings also received news of the establishment of the Sakura alliance. Today's Sakura is still in the Warring States period, when the country was divided. It seems that one must find a daimyo like Oda Nobunaga to kill in order to obtain a large amount of national fortune. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 172. At this moment, Sakura is somewhere along the coast. A team is walking along the coast, and the flags flying in the wind illustrate their identities. The expeditionary force from Yeotang. Among the expeditionary troops, Zhang Hongyi looked at the soldiers around him. During this time, they frequently encountered the Sakura Alliance's reconnaissance troops. The Sakura Alliance gradually began to grow. But the only thing Zhang Hongyi was a little confused about was that their combat power was enough to strangle all the invading Sakura troops. But as the commander-in-chief of the expeditionary force, Yuji Gong frequently avoided battles. It seems that the goal of the Demon Tang expedition this time is not to fight the Sakura people. So, what is their goal? Zhang Hongyi looked at the team behind him. The Dark Army followed them in an orderly manner. All the soldiers wore black armor and had solemn expressions. It doesn't look like a defeated army at all. If it were an ordinary soldier, his morale would be greatly reduced after a period of wandering and turbulence. But this army won't, because they are the famous Suanjia army of Demon Tang dynasty. Demon Tang's 10,000 Suanjia army can equal an army of 100,000. This sentence is enough to show how powerful the Suanjia army is. This time, the expeditionary force sent by Yao Tang included a total of 10,000 Suanjia troops. The people leading the team were Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling, both of whom were famous in the Demon Tang dynasty. With such a configuration, as long as they are not Oda Nobunaga, other Sakura daimyo will die as many as they come. But since Yu Qigong landed on the island, he has never had any direct conflict with the Sakura troops. If you can't fight, run away. If you can survive, then break through and then run. Such weird behavior made Zhang Hongyi's inner doubts even more intense. What is their purpose? What is the purpose of all this tossing and turning? At this moment, a Suanjia army soldier came to Zhang Hongyi's side. Lord Zhang Hongyi, the general is calling you. After the notification, Zhang Hongyi followed the soldier to Yu Qigong's side. Next to him was the famous Fang Xianling. The two were originally discussing something, but when they saw Zhang Hongyi arriving, they immediately started to change the topic. Lord Zhang, I wonder if there is any news from your lord recently. Fang Xianling and others naturally knew that there was a very special way of contact between lords like Zhang Hongyi. Because of this, Yao Tang also attaches great importance to these lords. Unlike other regions, the monarch of Yao Tang favored foreign lords very much and even issued many policies for this purpose. These policies have not improved the status of the foreign lords much. But compared to being looked down upon in other areas, it's still better. And Zhang Hongyi glanced at the chat channel. In the chat channel at this moment, Sakura's lords had completely swelled. Takeda Bear, ha ha ha, I thought you were so cruel, that's it, that's it? Haru Kawakami, what a bullshit Demon Tang, what a bullshit ancient Egypt, in the end we still beat the shit out of you? Kuki Ichiro, I'm laughing so hard I really thought they were some great people, but they turned out to be so vulnerable. Aoki Kaido, our great Sakura Empire was only accidentally attacked by these pigs because of our carelessness. Now it is our turn to fight back. After reading the arrogant speeches of various Sakura lords, Zhang Hongyi couldn't help but frown slightly. Do these Sakura lords really think they are powerful? It's just that the Suanjia army has no intention of fighting them. What a piece of shit, it's so ridiculous. Back then, in a certain mountain range, the Sakura alliance surrounded the Black Armor army. The Suanjia army easily broke through their encirclement without spending any money, and finally walked away. As the result reached their mouths, they were defeated and defeated. Laughing to death, Zhang Hongyi reported the situation of the Sakura lords to Yu Qigong. After hearing this, Yu Qigong felt a flash of anger between his brows. But this trace of anger was quickly suppressed. Fang Xianling next to him said very calmly, the goal has been achieved. These Sakura Island troops should not be entangled with us for too long. Humph. If it weren't for His Majesty's orders, I would have cut these Sakura pirates into pieces. Yu Qigong was holding back a rage in his heart with nowhere to vent it. After hearing these words, Zhang Hongyi clearly noticed something was wrong. Your Majesty's order? What exactly were their orders? What is this treasure that makes the king of Tang dynasty even send an expeditionary force? On the other side, in Owari Kunishenba Castle, many Sakura daimyo and Sakura lords gathered together. Famous figures in Sakura history abound during the banquet. Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Tokugawa Ieyasu and other three heroes of the Warring States period united. After that, the Sakura lords also brought the best of each era. Among them is Nobutsuna Komaizumi, known as Sakura's greatest swordsman. The second-rate swordsman Miyamoto Musashi is known as the unparalleled one in the world. They were supposed to shine on the stage of the Sakura Warring States period, fighting for their respective powers. Now, because all the forces have entered the Cherry Blossom Land, they have united. Such a force almost represents the strongest combat power in the entire Sakura Kingdom. Everyone, although we have all kinds of conflicts and grievances on weekdays. But in the face of foreign enemies, we must unite to protect our homeland. Today, We have defeated the enemies one after another, but there is only one left who has never taken action. That's right. Vikings, Ancient Egypt, and Tang Dynasty. When they faced the Sakura Alliance, they all chose to avoid fighting and run away. This made the big names in the Sakura Alliance think that these invaders were just a bunch of rabble. And now, they are eyeing the last force. That is Longhan, where Lu Jin is. But they may not know that the goal of the other three forces is to search for something hidden on Sakura Island. And Lu Jin is a genuine warrior who is ready to destroy the entire Sakura. Now, the Sakura Alliance has set its sights on Lu Jin's Longhan. At this moment, a warrior rushed in. Report. The lowest city in Ika County was captured by Longhan's troops. Longhan's army is approaching us now. What? They didn't take the initiative to come to Longhan's door, but he came to them instead. Even Oda Nobunaga couldn't help but frown slightly. So far, all the external forces they have encountered have avoided them without exception. This caused their vigilance to gradually relax. Now that they suddenly encountered Longhan, who took the initiative to attack, they found it difficult to accept it. How dare this bastard be so arrogant? Why don't you let me go and destroy them this time? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 173. The person who spoke was none other than Tokugawa Ieyasu. He stood up directly and said that he would send troops to wipe out all these ignorant Longhan soldiers. Seeing that it was Tokugawa Ieyasu, many Sakura lords' eyes lit up. After all, in their hearts, Tokugawa Ieyasu is a well-deserved hero. Isn't it easy for such a famous hero to personally lead his troops to kill those Longzia soldiers? At this time, one of the Sakura lords stood up. Lord Tokugawa is so generous, we will not be stingy with the troops in our hands. I, Sanjuro, am willing to send 5,000 swordsmen to help Lord Tokugawa win this battle, so as to enhance the prestige of our great Sakura Empire. Seeing this, many Sakura lords said that they could also send troops. In an instant, Tokugawa Ieyasu received an additional 50,000 troops. Plus Tokugawa Ieyasu's own 50,000 troops, that's an army of 100,000. Tokugawa Ieyasu laughed, 100,000 troops at hand. It seems that I have already seen the picture of victory. In that case, please watch my triumphant return. Having said that, Tokugawa Ieyasu led an army of 100,000 cherry blossoms and rushed straight towards Loa City. Lu Jin from the Loa City looked at the ruins of the Loa City without any emotion on his face. If we continue moving forward, we should reach Katsubata Castle, where Oda Nobunaga is located. I heard that the headquarters of Sakura Alliance is in Katsubata Castle. Today's Katsubata Castle has gathered 90% of Sakura's troops. Its military strength has reached millions. But for Lu Jin, this is good news. Everyone is gathered together, saving you from having to look for people everywhere. At this moment, a black guard appeared next to Lu Jin. Reporting to your majesty, Tokugawa Ieyasu has gathered 100,000 troops and is heading towards us. Oh! Unexpectedly, Tokugawa Ieyasu would take the initiative and bring 100,000 troops. The corners of Lu Jin's mouth raised slightly, and he looked at the black guard beside him with interest. How strong is the army of 100,000? Reporting to your majesty, among the 100,000 soldiers, all 80,000 soldiers are ordinary mortals. As soon as these words came out, Lu Jin suddenly lost interest. An army of 100,000 people, and 80,000 people are all ordinary mortals? With such a rubbish lineup, even if they are all crushed, they won't get many points in the national war. Tisk, is Sakura's per capita strength so weak? It seems that Lu Jin thinks too highly of these Sakura lords. Even the ordinary mortal soldiers were moved up. Lu Jin waved his hand, signaling the Black Guard to pass on his order. Let Zhao Yun lead 1,000 Qianlong Air Force to destroy the 100,000 army led by Tokugawa Ieyasu. As for the main force led by Len Yun, they will go to Shenban City through another road. Our goal is to wait for Oda Nobunaga and a series of cherry blossoms to come, and not to spend too much time on these little minions. Clear. After receiving the order, the Black Guard quickly disappeared. Zhao Yun, who was undergoing repairs in Changgang City, immediately flew towards the target location with 1,000 Qianlong Air Force after receiving the news. At this moment in the mountains and fields, Tokugawa Ieyasu was leading the way at the forefront of the team. Behind him were the dark Sakura soldiers. Many Sakura soldiers were in high spirits. They had long heard various news about Long Xia's troops from the ears of the famous people. He, I didn't expect that we would be selected by Lord Tokugawa Ieyasu. I heard that those Long Xia troops were very weak. When they saw a Sakura people, they were scared to death. What an ancient country in the world, in my opinion it is nothing more than that. Ha ha ha, we have to kill a few more Long Xia people this time, and maybe we can receive a lot of rewards after we go back. They're just Long Xia people, I'll cut them one by one, and then let them see if my uncle's blade is sharp enough. At this moment, a scout came running from a distance on horseback. When he ran to Tokugawa Ieyasu, his face was filled with joy. Report, sir. I have just discovered a large number of Long Xia people. I suspect that those Long Xia people are Long Han's main force. But these main forces seem to know that we are coming, and they all choose another road to bypass us and go to Katsubata Castle. Bypass them? With this little ability, do you dare to attack Katsuba Castle? Just hearing the news that he had sent troops was so frightened that he ran away in a detour. I saw the flag belonging to Long Han rising from the distant horizon, and the main force led by Len Yun also came directly to Shenban City. Could it be that he encountered some danger? Zhao Yun stood on the back of the red flame goshawk and scanned the 100,000 troops beneath him. Clear. As the troops approached the city, Oda Nobunaga looked at Long Han's troops, and his expression suddenly became extremely ugly. For a moment, all the Sakura soldiers shouted. Suddenly, there was an explosion. Besides, this time he brought 100,000 soldiers to stop Long Han's army, so there was no way he could make any mistakes. The next second, the star bomb fell directly towards Tokugawa Ieyasu's location. Because several black figures appeared in the sky. At this time, he was even more certain. As expected, they are just a bunch of rubbish, just dropping star bombs. 1,000 Qianlong airmen immediately injected their true energy into the starry sky bombs in their hands. After doing all this, Zhao Yun waved his hand and didn't even say anything. These Long Xia people in front of me are just a bunch of rabble. Tokugawa Ieyasu laughed loudly. Although Oda Nobunaga thought so, reality quickly slapped him in the face. He could even hear a faint loud noise. These black figures zoomed in quickly in his field of vision, and in the blink of an eye, 1,000 red-flamed goshawks arrived in the sky above Tokugawa Ieyasu's army. In an instant, the entire mountain was surrounded by endless flames. Now that these Long Xia people are here, it is enough to show that Tokugawa Ieyasu, who went to stop the attack, has encountered something unexpected. If Tokugawa Ieyasu was safe and sound, he would definitely not let these Ryasha people come to the castle. The Qianlong Air Force chose to return to Changgang City. We are not even warriors, we will only waste time if we take action. But at this moment, his smile froze on his face. It's as if they have reaped the fruits of victory. Boom! Tokugawa Ieyasu laughed and prepared to give orders to attack the main force led by Len Yun. But Oda Nobunaga shook his head. He knew Tokugawa Ieyasu's strength. Oda Nobunaga, who was far away in Katsubata Castle, was standing on the city wall inspecting the city, and suddenly saw a huge fire rising into the sky in the distance. Tokugawa Ieyasu laughed loudly, "Young men! We have discovered the traces of Ryu Akazesu, what should we do next? Kill them. Isn't that direction exactly where Tokugawa Ieyasu is heading? Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 174. Alert. For a moment, everyone in Genban City became nervous. With the army approaching the city, this was an outcome they never expected. Everyone climbed up the city wall and saw the Qianlong army gradually approaching, and their expressions changed greatly. What's going on? Didn't that guy Tokugawa Ieyasu lead 100,000 troops to stop the attack? Those Ryusha people have attacked the city. What happened to that guy Tokugawa Ieyasu? What's going on? Are these Longxia people crazy? They dare to attack our base camp. Don't be afraid. We have an army of millions, and the opponent only has tens of thousands of people. We have the advantage. That's right. There are only tens of thousands of people, what are you afraid of? And Len Yun, who was under the city wall, relied on the warrior's keen hearing to hear the words of the many little cherry blossoms on the city wall. The corners of her mouth raised slightly, and the eyes of everyone on the city wall were full of disdain. The next second, an all too familiar mask appeared in her hands. This mask is the shadow mask that Lu Jin opened before. The moment he saw the shadow mask, Jiasu next to him couldn't help but take a half step back. He looked at the shadow mask in Len Yun's hand and thought to himself. This is a treasure that His Majesty personally bestowed upon Len Yun. I don't know when I will receive His Majesty's reward. Immediately afterwards, the shadow mask in Len Yun's hand shimmered. Several unknown beings emerged from the ground. Len Yun's demon cavalry looked at the shadow rising suddenly like liquid under their feet and couldn't help but be slightly startled. But in the next second, all the fear of the unknown of those demon cavalry disappeared. Because those shadows are directly attached to the surface of the demon cavalry's body. Even the remaining hidden dragon army was possessed by shadows. Immediately afterwards, they felt a huge force coming from their bodies. Power, such a powerful power. I feel like my body is covered with another layer of transparent armor. No. Not only that. I also feel that my strength and speed have more than doubled. That's right. This is one of the special shadow creatures summoned by the shadow mask. Shadow armor. A special kind of parasitic shadow creature. It can parasitize on the body surface of any living creature, thus increasing that creature's combat effectiveness to a level that is not his own. Lu Jin used the shadow mask in advance to summon a series of shadow creatures. Therefore, when Len Yun summoned them, there was no need to pay any price at all. Of course, the shadow armor summoned by Lu Jin was without exception all first-level shadow creatures. People possessed by them, even ordinary mortals, can gain first-level strength. But this also comes at a huge cost. Mortals gain power beyond themselves, and there is only one ending, their body is broken by the power and they die. As long as they are below the first-level warrior, after being possessed by the shadow armor, they will continue to overdraw their bodies and eventually die of exhaustion. But Lu Jin's soldiers, without exception, are all first-level warriors. Therefore, in their hands, shadow armor is no longer a parasitic relationship, but a symbiotic relationship. Now, these blessed demon cavalry rushed directly to the city wall. With the sword on their bodies, they regarded it as nothing. The punch was so powerful that it almost shattered the city wall. Rumble. As more and more demon cavalry rushed up the city wall, the entire city wall was shaken by the huge infuriating impact. In the distant mountains and fields, Lu Jin's figure suddenly appeared. And he appeared here just to recover the national destiny of Tokugawa Ieyasu. Lu Jin looked around at the messy land around him. Finally, his eyes fell on a patch of grass. As if he noticed Lu Jin's gaze, a golden shadow immediately flew out from the grass. Although the afterimage appeared quickly, Lu Jin could still see its shape clearly. It's a rabbit. In order to protect himself, after Tokugawa Ieyasu's death, the energy of national destiny transformed into a unique creature and began to move. If Lu Jin hadn't come here in time, it would probably turn into various animals, and eventually meet a destined person and parasitize him again. But when Lu Jin comes, it has only one fate. With a wave of his hand, a 5-clawed golden dragon flew directly out of Lu Jin's sleeve. The dragon energy began to chase the golden energy of national destiny, and finally Lu Jin captured the energy of national destiny. In an instant, Lu Jin's dragon energy increased rapidly. Good fellow, you are worthy of being one of the 3 heroes of the Warring States period. The fortune of the country is indeed rich. At this moment, Lu Jin checked his own attribute panel. Name Lu Jin. Title Long Xia Supreme, National Destiner, Long Yuan Emperor. Position Lord. Realm Immortal Realm. Number of Dragon Chi possessed 30. Owned territories Qianlong City, Luoyang, Manhu Imperial City. With 30 dragon energy, I wonder if I can have a chance to compete with Yao Tang. But this is not my limit. If Sakura swallows up all her national destiny, her number of dragon energy will most likely increase to about 40. Thinking of this, Lu Jin couldn't wait. He disappeared in a flash, and when he reappeared, he was already in the sky above Shenban Castle. Looking at the sea of flames in Shenban City, his face was expressionless. He just wanted to know if those guys with the aura of national destiny were dead. At this moment, Lu Jin's eyes lit up, and a golden aura of national destiny came into his eyes. Lu Jin smiled slightly, then waved his hand. In an instant, 20 Longhan holy guards descended on Shenban City. For a moment, the aura belonging to the Saint Realm burst out, and the entire Shenban City was enveloped by the pressure of the Saint Realm. Oda Nobunaga was shocked, and the blade in his hand froze. What? The aura of a saint. As one of the 3 heroes of the Warring States period, Oda Nobunaga was well informed. He was immediately aware of the presence of the Saint Realm aura. However, he still can't tell which side the Saint Realm existence belongs to. At this time, Len Yun's chilling voice came. Oh? Are you still distracted? The next second, a torrential rain of flying knives came over the sky. Oda Nobunaga quickly resisted. Suddenly, he felt a chill coming from behind. Len Yun didn't know when he appeared behind him, his swords unsheathed. Before Oda Nobunaga could react, Len Yun swung out 2 swords, leaving a deep wound directly on Oda Nobunaga's back. Oda Nobunaga looked pale and knew that he was definitely no match for the woman in front of him. But looking back, he found that everything around him had been plunged into a sea of blood. Is this the strength of Longxia ancient kingdom? Why? Oda Nobunaga could not understand even in his dreams. Since they were so strong, why did they deliberately show weakness before? Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 175. No. I can't fall here yet. Oda Nobunaga roared angrily, and an astonishing amount of energy erupted from his body. The sudden burst of energy made Len Yun take a few steps back, but only a few steps. She looked at Oda Nobunaga with interest. The true energy that just exploded was already the last true energy in his body. Len Yun was curious, under such circumstances, what other means could he have to make a comeback? I saw Oda Nobunaga taking out a small bottle from his arms, which contained a drop of scarlet liquid that looked like amber. Oda Nobunaga swallowed the blood in the bottle directly. Immediately afterwards, Oda Nobunaga, who had already exhausted his true energy, suddenly burst out with even more terrifying true energy. Lu Jin in the air was also attracted by the movement here. He could feel that this chi was no longer the chi that humans could possess. It was mixed with the aura of a saint, and also had the aura of a monster. Interesting. So far, Lu Jin has seen the existence of the saint realm. But I have never seen the existence of a demon saint. The blood that Oda Nobunaga swallowed contained the aura of the saint and the monster. These two breaths are intertwined with each other, and it can be said that they are natural. Lu Jin touched his chin and thought to himself. In a world like Sakura, even if a demon saint appeared, he wouldn't be too surprised. At this moment, dense scales grew on Oda Nobunaga's body, and even his pupils began to turn into beast-like vertical pupils. Seeing the changes in Oda Nobunaga, Len Yun looked at Lu Jin in the sky. But the next second, Lu Jin fell directly to the ground. A trace of surprise appeared on Len Yun's face. Could it be that Lu Jin was going to take action himself? This is overkill. Lu Jin is now in the immortal realm. The Oda Nobunaga in front of him was originally a peak first-level warrior. Even if he used this backhand, he could only break through to the super first-level realm. Even Len Yun can kill it easily. But Len Yun didn't expect that Lu Jin would actually step into the battlefield himself. Seeing Lu Jin appear, Oda Nobunaga's expression changed. Reinforcements. But seeing Lu Jin's calm look and Len Yun's eyes, he understood instantly. Are you their leader? I didn't expect that you could push me to this point. I originally didn't want to use this power, but I'm at the end of my rope. Before he finished speaking, Oda Nobunaga suddenly felt an invisible force strangle his neck. What? Oda Nobunaga looked at Lu Jin opposite. But Lu Jin just raised his right hand and easily suppressed Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga roared angrily, and the terrifying infuriating pressure burst out, and a shadow gradually condensed behind him. But the next second, Lu Jin burst out with powerful pressure. Boom! In an instant, the entire battlefield was suppressed. The terrifying aura belonging to the immortal made Oda Nobunaga feel suffocated. How can it be? He turned out to be a fairy. Oda Nobunaga's face turned pale, as if he had seen something terrible. Next, I'll ask you questions. The blood you swallowed came from that monster. Monster? Oda Nobunaga struggled desperately. Seeing this, Lu Jin exerted a little force, and an indentation immediately appeared on Oda Nobunaga's neck. And Oda Nobunaga looked at Lu Jin, as if he knew that he was bound to die, but he was relieved. It's Yamata no Orakai, I got this drop of blood from it. Yamata no Orakai? Lu Jin was familiar with this name. As a famous monster in the history of Sakura. Unexpectedly, it turned into a demon saint when it arrived in Hunyuan continent. Lu Jin touched his chin and looked at Oda Nobunaga again. Where is it? Black Abyss. Lu Jin let go of Oda Nobunaga and asked him to tell the specific location of the Black Abyss. And Oda Nobunaga did not dare to neglect at all, and directly marked the location of the Black Abyss, and even marked the specific entry method. When Lu Jin got the map, he looked at Oda Nobunaga. At this moment, Oda Nobunaga looked extremely humble, as if he had completely surrendered to Lu Jin. But Oda Nobunaga couldn't help but sneer in his heart. Black Abyss. That place is the most terrifying forbidden area in Sakura. When you get to that forbidden place, so what if you are a being in the immortal realm? When the time comes, he will also perish there. Oda Nobunaga knew that he would definitely not survive in Lu Jin's hands. Rather than doing this, it is better to lure it into your own trap. At this moment, Lu Jin tore the Black Abyss coordinates in his hand into pieces. Seeing this scene, Oda Nobunaga's heart suddenly sank to the bottom. Lu Jin sneered, "Do you think I will believe your lies?" Hearing these words, Oda Nobunaga suddenly felt a thump in his heart. Before he could react, Lu Jin made a fist with his right hand. Boom! There was a muffled sound and blood splattered everywhere. Oda Nobunaga directly turned into a blood mist and disappeared into the sky. Your Majesty, this guy didn't tell the truth. I'm afraid there's something deceitful about this Black Abyss. I know. Lu Jin knew very well that a figure like Oda Nobunaga would never give in to him easily. In his previous life, Oda Nobunaga decisively chose to commit suicide after being defeated at the hands of his lord. Therefore, he was also regarded as the unconquerable leader of military commanders by the Sakura lords. But Oda Nobunaga, who does not give in easily, instead tells the news he wants so easily, then there must be something wrong with this news. Because of this, Lu Jin decisively killed him. If we continue to investigate, the information obtained may not be too accurate. Just know the source of his power. His top priority should be to kill all the remaining Sakura daimyo and absorb all Sakura's national destiny. At this moment, the system's beep sounded. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous Sakura character Oda Nobunaga. Here's your reward, a golden legendary conquest treasure chest and a special event prop conquest order. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous Sakura character Tokugawa Ieyasu. Here's your reward, a golden legendary Sakura treasure chest, the golden legendary elixir 10,000 times true chi pill. Ding! Congratulations on successfully killing the famous Sakura figure Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Here's your reward, a golden legendary wisdom chest, the only special prop monster suppressing pagoda. A large number of treasures and treasure boxes went into Lu Jin's backpack. After all, this Katsuhata castle is home to 90% of the Sakura daimyo. Among them were many well-known figures, and Lu Jin directly served them in one pot. This has resulted in a lot of treasures. What concerned Lu Jin the most was that there was actually a conquest order among them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 176. However, isn't it a little too late to give me the order of conquest now? Sakura's main forces are concentrated in Katsuhata Castle. Now that they have been killed by themselves, even if they use the conquest order to open a war copy, they will not be able to get the maximum benefit. Thinking of this, Lu Jin put away the conquest order. It would be better to wait until the time comes to use this conquest order to attack Yeotang. After all, orders of conquest are relatively rare here in Lu Jin. Putting away the conquest order, Lu Jin set his sights on the second reward. 10,000 times true chi pill. Name 10,000 times true chi pill. Quality golden legend. Effect: after taking it, it can continue to generate chi in the body until the amount of chi consumed reaches 10,000 times of the body. After reading the introduction of 10,000 times chi pill, Lu Jin was a little disappointed. He thought he could increase the quality of his chi 10,000 times. The result is just to increase his own energy storage by 10,000 times. The gap between the two is completely different. Lu Jin put it away and thought to himself. After all, it was only a golden legendary elixir, so I had too high expectations for the effect of the 10,000 times true chi elixir. And if other people knew what Lu Jin was thinking, they would be so depressed that they would vomit blood. 10,000 times the infuriating energy reserve is not enough? Lu Jin actually wants to increase the quality of his chi 10,000 times? With Lu Jin's current chi quality in the immortal realm, if he could really increase his chi quality 10,000 times, it is estimated that he only needs to make a slight move to overthrow the entire Yeotang in an instant. The 10,000 times true chi pill was pocketed by Lu Jin. Immediately afterwards, there is the only special prop in the end, the monster suppressing pagoda. When Lu Jin saw the name, he thought it was some kind of building. But he repeatedly confirmed that this demon suppressing pagoda was called the only special prop by the system. This shows that this demon suppressing pagoda is not a building, but a usable item. Lu Jin took out the demon suppressing pagoda from his backpack. Name: demon suppressing pagoda. Quality: unique and special. Effect: 1. The corpses of monsters can be refined into elixirs that can improve your cultivation. Effect 2, monsters can be captured alive and refined into slaves for use. Effect 3, you can refine monsters into monster souls and attach them to weapons to improve the quality of the weapons. After seeing the effect of the demon suppressing pagoda, Lu Jing couldn't help but his eyes lit up. What a good thing! The emergence of the monster suppressing pagoda completely filled the gap where monsters could only be used as food. Now, monster beasts can not only be refined into cultivation elixirs, but can also be enslaved and driven, and can even be refined to improve the quality of weapons. Nice one. Unexpectedly, this time the system reward actually gave a good thing. Lu Jin touched his chin and thought of a figure in his mind. Yamata no Orakai. If you imprison Yamata no Orakai in the demon suppressing pagoda, you may be able to get some good benefits. In this case, Lu Jin decided to send a few black guards to the Black Abyss to investigate. Let's see if the situation in the Black Abyss is true. Also, now that I have my hands free, it's time to focus on investigating the real purpose of the other three parties. During this period, no matter how well he and Sakura fought, the remaining three parties seemed to have disappeared, and there was never any news about them. Such an abnormality made Lu Jin feel even more weird. On the other side, Yu Qigong looked at the team in front of him. The leader was a jackal-headed being. Behind him, there were many shirtless ancient Egyptian warriors, holding spears in one hand and shields in the other. Compared to the tens of thousands of troops on Yeotang's side, the hundreds of people on the opposite side seemed extremely thin. But even so, Yu Qigong's eyes fell on the strange existence with the body of a jackal, and his heart felt particularly solemn. So strong. Just looking at him, Yu Qigong felt an extremely strong pressure. This aura is at least that of a saint. Yu Qigong secretly thought, he did not expect that ancient Egypt would actually send such a powerful being. But fortunately, I also have the trump card given by His Majesty. If there really is a fight, it's not certain who will win. At this moment, Fang Xianling next to him spoke. You must be the god of ancient Egypt, Lord said, right? Fang Xianling had already learned the languages of various countries at the request of the demon king of Tang dynasty. Because of this, he was sent to Sakura to complete the task given by the king of demon Tang. After hearing Fang Xianling speak the ancient Egyptian language, Zhang Hongyi's eyes were full of surprise. He actually knows the ancient Egyptian language? Originally, Zhang Hongyi thought they were going to take action because of the language barrier. But the reality was far beyond his expectation. Is it because of this that the demon king of Tang dynasty sent Fang Xianling to the expedition? At this time, the jackal-headed person opposite nodded, indicating that he was Set, one of the gods of ancient Egypt and one of the 9 pillars. Fang Xianling also breathed a sigh of relief when Seth admitted. Since the other party didn't take action directly, it means they still have room. Thinking of this, Fang Xianling looked at Seth. You must also be here for the legendary godhead. Since we are here together, it means our goals are the same. But the road to finding the godhead is not an easy one, and you will inevitably encounter various difficulties and obstacles. So, before we see the godhead, we can cooperate first. After all, this place in front of me doesn't look like a good place. As he spoke, Fang Xianling looked at the canyon in front of him. It was clear that the sun was shining brightly before, but when they arrived at this canyon, the entire sky suddenly became extremely dark. At the same time, a black mist with weak poison began to spread around them. All signs indicate that there must be a big risk in this place. Seth glanced at Yu Qigong and others, said nothing, and walked straight into the black mist. Seeing this, Yu Qigong snorted coldly. This was the first time that he was looked down upon by someone so much, even though he claimed to be the 9-pillar god. But Yu Qigong can feel that his strength is at most around the immortal level. If I use the trump card given by His Majesty, what if I am an immortal? He can still kill it. But if I use my trump card against him now, I can't guarantee what accident will happen in the future. After all, in addition to their two forces, there are two other forces that also exist on this Sakura island. Therefore, even though I am dissatisfied with this so-called god in my heart. But Uchigong did not have an attack. Instead, he mobilized his troops to follow the ancient Egyptian troops. As their figures gradually disappeared into the black mist, several figures of black guards appeared on the spot. They looked at each other and asked a question. Why are you here? Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 177. Two black guards who performed different tasks now appeared in the same place. The two sides looked at each other at the black guard opposite, with puzzled expressions on their faces. If it weren't for the fact that the troops from Yeotang and ancient Egypt were still here just now, they would probably have shown up to ask about their respective situations. One of the Black Guard leaders spoke first and told him his mission. Our team was ordered by His Majesty to investigate the true purpose of these troops. What is your mission? I remember that Your Majesty will only leave this tracking mission to our team. At this time, the Black Guard on the opposite side also told the details of his mission. No, we were ordered to investigate the specific situation of the Black Abyss. Our mission is completely different from yours. Investigate the Black Abyss? The two Black Guards exchanged information with each other. When all the information was integrated, they suddenly realized. It turns out that the real purpose of these troops is the Black Abyss. After Lu Jin received the information from both parties, he suddenly came to a conclusion. Apparently, Oda Nobunaga's message was not wrong. Yamata no Orokai is in the Black Abyss, at least this part of the information is true. But the word Godhead was mentioned in the information. Obviously, this Godhead is the treasure that King Arthur, the demon king of Tang dynasty, the Egyptian pharaoh and others are looking for. And Lu Jin now also has a strong interest in this Godhead. Putting away the information in his hand, Lu Jin immediately summoned several generals to accompany him to the Black Abyss. This time, he only brought with him a series of military commanders whose strength had reached the saint level, including Malabuletin. The others were arranged by themselves to continue to clear out the remaining Sakura remnants. As for his hidden dragon army, Lu Jin had no intention of taking them with him. After all, the more people taking such actions, the more troublesome it will be. Moreover, if the Black Abyss is really the location of the Yamata no Orokai, first-class warriors like the Qianlong army will be killed. After some consideration, Lu Jin led a few people and ran towards the Black Abyss. Not long after, Lu Jin came to the place called the Black Abyss. Looking at the gloomy environment around him, Lu Jin couldn't help but smile in his heart. What a black abyss, this environment really matches its name. But Lu Jin did not dwell on the surrounding environment for too long. He quickly led everyone into the black mist. The black mist filled the air, and wisps of poisonous aura penetrated their bodies. But everyone present is a powerful being in the saint realm. Just mobilizing the slightest amount of true energy will eliminate all the true energy from the body. At this moment, a wisp of bloody smell penetrated into Lu Jin's nose. Smelling the smell of blood, their originally fast pace began to slow down. Immediately afterwards, the black mist suddenly dispersed. They saw a messy battlefield, with hundreds of Suanjia soldiers lying on the ground, no longer breathing. And on the ground not far away, the legendary Yamata no Orokai fell to the ground. Of its 8 heads, only one remains now. The body is even covered with dense wounds. It seems that we are already a step too late. There just was a big battle here. It's interesting, this monster is actually a saint-level existence. The other party must have spent a lot of effort to capture this monster. Wait a minute, this monster doesn't seem to be completely dead yet. Hearing this, Lu Jin couldn't help but frown slightly. And it was Yao Daji who said this. Yao Daji took a step forward, Her eyebrows slightly wrinkled. There is still a trace of breath. This monster has 8 hearts. Because of this, it still has a complete heart. Although the aura is weak now, as long as you give it a certain amount of time to recover, it will surely be back to its prime soon. Your Majesty, do you want to kill it now while it's sick? The current Yamata no Orokai is extremely weak. In an instant, the fog disappeared, and Tamamo-me was directly pressed to the ground, unable to move. Seeing the demon-suppressing pagoda appearing, Yaota couldn't help but take a breath of air. My lords, I am just a little demon fox in the mountains. Please let me go. The energy all over her body exploded instantly, and a pink mist instantly enveloped the entire place. But at this moment, Yao Daji suddenly had a stern look in his eyes. Although the two have different bloodlines, they are both 9-tailed demon foxes, so she knows the other's nature best. If I guess correctly, you are the rumored demon fox Tamamo-me. The next second, the little fox transformed into a delicate and beautiful girl and sat slumped on the ground, looking pitiful. At this moment, the void twisted, and a little fox with 9 tails jumped out of it. After Lu Jin heard Yao Daji's words, instead of being worried, he looked amused. Do you think you can run? As he raised his hand, the fierce Genkai was like a sharp sword, running directly towards the void. She is now in the realm of a saint, but for some reason, the moment she saw this demon-suppressing pagoda, she felt a deep sense of fear in her heart. She could tell at a glance that Lu Jin was the strongest and most prestigious person in this group of people. As he spoke, the demon-suppressing pagoda fell directly. Tamamo-me had no room for resistance at all, and was directly taken into the demon-suppressing pagoda by Lu Jin. Not good. Surviving in the territory where the Yamata no Orokai is located, you must not be a good person. But Lu Jin's voice suddenly sounded, which made the 9-tailed demon fox's heart sink to the bottom. As long as you are willing to let this little girl go, I am willing to do anything. And Yao Daji suddenly felt a crisis, and unexpectedly met another 9-tailed demon fox here. Lu Jin summoned the demon-suppressing pagoda, looked at Tamamo and said coldly. At this moment, Yao Daji is like a kitten that keeps blowing up, wanting to defend its master. Lu Jin took a step forward and raised his hand, the demon-suppressing pagoda appeared in his palm. What exactly is the treasure in your Majesty's hands? It's best if you don't die. This feeling of fear comes from the fear in the heart and from the suppression of blood. Lu Jin snorted coldly and released the pressure of his true energy. Who? I didn't expect that the first monster I suppressed at the monster-suppressing pagoda would be the famous Yamata no Orokai. After saying that, the beautiful fox demon girl gave Lu Jin a flirtatious look. After his identity was revealed, Tamamo-me only felt danger rushing into his heart. Whenever a warrior who is only at the 8th level comes over, his last vestige of vitality will be cut off. As he raised his hand, the dying Yamata no Orokai was directly taken into the demon-suppressing pagoda by Lu Jin. Not dead? As long as he can capture this person, he will definitely be able to escape and ascend to heaven. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the God-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 178. What is this place? Tamamo, who was imprisoned in the demon-suppressing pagoda, felt only darkness around her. And when she took a step forward, she was immediately blocked by an invisible wall. Damn it! Tamamo-me tries to mobilize his energy. Very good. If you can still mobilize your true energy, you still have a chance to escape. I am a demon saint in the saint realm. Do you really think you can trap me? Infuriating mobilization. Boom. The huge Genkai turned into a ball of light and headed directly towards the invisible barrier. But the next second, the light ball suddenly disappeared in place. Tamamo-me was stunned. What happened? Has his true energy been swallowed up? She tried to feel her true energy, but she found that her true energy disappeared without a trace, and she could not feel the slightest breath at all. At this time, Tamamo felt an unknown fear welling up in her heart. She gritted her teeth and immediately mobilized all her energy. A full blow. She didn't believe it. Can a mere cage trap her for the rest of her life? Boom. All the true energy blasted out. But the next second, a familiar situation happened again, and all the energy disappeared like a mud cow entering the sea. How is this possible? Tamamo couldn't believe it. She slumped on the ground helplessly, feeling that the energy in her body was completely empty. No, I can't give up yet. She tried to mobilize her true energy, but fortunately, her true energy could continue to gather. At this moment, a voice came from the side. Tamamo, just give up on this idea. Upon hearing this familiar voice, Tamamo stood up immediately. It's you. Yamata no Orakai. Aren't you already dead? Where exactly is this place? At this time, the Yamata no Orakai next to him opened his mouth to explain to Tamamo. This should be the inside of some kind of treasure specifically targeted at our demon clan. Don't waste your efforts. I have used all the methods you used. In here, although you can condense your true energy, you will never be able to break through that barrier. Your true energy will only serve as its energy for its operation. In other words, the more you attack this building, the more chi it absorbs and the stronger it becomes. In other words, this is a dead end. And finally Yamata no Orakai said the last words. Besides, even if you can get out, can you beat that guy? That guy? Tamamo thought of Lu Jin's figure. The scent of the immortal realm instantly calmed her down. That's right. Even if she could break through this cage, would she be sure to escape from that terrifying guy? The answer is, no. She only has the cultivation level of saint, but the other party is a real immortal. Thinking of this, Tamamo gave up. She sat on the cold ground and no longer thought about gathering her energy to resist. Anyway, she is already at the saint level and no longer needs to eat like a mortal. But thinking that he might have to stay here for an unknown length of time, Tamamo felt a sense of despair. But at this moment, Tamamo suddenly noticed something strange. Several chains suddenly appeared in the surrounding void. What's the situation? Where did these chains come from? Before Tamamo could react, these chains instantly bound him in place. What the hell is this? Suddenly, Tamamo felt only a sharp pain. This severe pain comes from the depths of the soul. It was as if a mark had been stamped deep in his soul. Immediately afterwards, the chains came apart and her figure became distorted. When Tamamo reacted again, she actually returned to the black abyss. Tamamo looked at Lu Jin, who was holding the demon-suppressing pagoda in front of him, and his face was in a daze. Did I just have a nightmare? No, it's not a dream. Lu Jin's voice brought him back to the real world. Just after Lu Jin took Tamamo into the demon-suppressing pagoda, he directly forcibly enslaved him. It can be said that Tamamo has now become a demon servant under Lu Jin. Even if Lu Jin asks her to die now, even if she resists in her heart, with the blessing of the soul mark, she will die without hesitation. This is the power of the demon-suppressing pagoda. Tell me everything that happens in this place. Lu Jin's voice was like a magical sound, pouring into Tamamo's ears. But in Lu Jin's field of vision, Tamamo seemed like a puppet, telling everything he knew. Thinking of this, Lu Jin immediately called a black guard. This is indeed the location of Yamata no Orakai. After all, for them, they are the latecomers. The last treasure is the legendary godhead. After an explanation, the black guard disappeared, and Lu Jin did not choose to move forward. But no matter what, if you rush in now, you will definitely be besieged by Demon Tang and ancient Egypt. First, does fairyland exist? If you go further, you will reach the Genjutsu forest where Tamamo is. Lu Jin also has a lot of trump cards. In terms of foundation, Longxia is not inferior to ancient Egypt, not to mention that Yao Tang's strength can be regarded as one of the best in the Longxia area. But now, the illusion forest has been occupied by Demon Tang and ancient Egyptian troops. In addition to Seth, there are also two saint-level beings on Yao Tang's side. In order to prevent various situations from happening, you must prepare a series of trump cards. Although the number of troops in ancient Egypt was only a few hundred, Seth, the leader, had the strength of a fairy. Therefore, Yao Tang must have weapons to deal with the beings in the immortal realm. Soon, Lu Jing got all the news he wanted to know. But at this time, Lu Jing glanced at her, and Tamamo Mei suddenly felt a thump in her heart. Therefore, Tamamo Mei, who only has the strength of a saint, is not their opponent at all. She only felt a suffocation coming over her, a feeling that made her worse than death. Lu Jin touched his chin, and after thinking for a moment, he had no intention of going any further. Lu Jin touched his chin and raised the corners of his mouth slightly. But Yao Tang actually sent only 2 saints? She didn't want to taste that kind of life that was worse than death again. It seems that this godhead is indeed very important. Otherwise, why would ancient Egypt send a being from the immortal realm to explore it? No. Tamamo Mei wanted to resist, but the soul brand was activated, and Lu Jin's order must not be disobeyed. Even Lu Jin had to choose to prepare his trump card and be ready to compete for the godhead. It's just that you need to prepare in advance before you can use these trump cards. If you're being bolder, maybe they have weapons to deal with beings in the divine realm. Oh. But at the same time, this is also where Sakura's various great demons live. At this moment, Tamamo Mei felt a blur of consciousness. He looked at Tamamo Mei, who at this time had not yet recovered from the previous soul slavery. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 179. Since this is your territory, why not go explore the situation ahead? After all, the Black Abyss is Sakura's territory. Even if the Black Guard goes to investigate, the efficiency is not very high. But Tamamo Mei was different. She was able to escape from those people, which showed that she had certain abilities. In addition, she already lives here, so it would be perfect for her to serve as a scout to deliver news. Tamamo Mei wanted to refuse. After all, she had managed to escape from those guys. If she were to go back now, wouldn't that mean she would die? But thinking about the feeling that life was worse than death just now, Tamamo Mei felt suffocated. Okay, I'll go. In the end, Tamamo Mei chose to compromise. Looking at Tamamo Mei's leaving figure, Yaeda couldn't help but feel lucky that she had been loyal to Lu Jin from the beginning to the end. Otherwise, my fate may not be much better than Tamamo Mei. After Tamamo Mei rested for a while, she regrouped her true energy, turned into a little fox, concealed her aura, and returned to her residence. Returning to the Genjutsu forest, Tamamo Mei returned to his residence with ease. Sure enough, when she returned to her residence, she only saw a mess. The Yao Tang troops and the ancient Egyptian troops that originally stayed here disappeared. They didn't spend much time in this place. They didn't even send pursuers to hunt down Tamamo Mei. Naturally, Tamamo Mei knew their purpose, and her body moved swiftly and disappeared into the illusion forest in an instant. After passing through the illusion forest, they came to a city. It is hard to imagine that in such a gloomy environment, there is a city hidden in it. And this city is where the Sakura monsters live, the Demon City. Damn it! You humans actually dare to set foot in the Demon City. Stop talking nonsense. Hand over the keys. Gee, you guys also want to take away the key? It's just wishful thinking. Then, just kill the entire demon city. Gong raised his hand and directly killed the monster in front of him. For a moment, the entire demon was on fire. Seeing those monsters attacking one after another, Zhang Hongyi looked solemn, but the sword in his hand did not pause at all. Unexpectedly, the monsters of Sakura country have such intelligence. In Longxia, only first-level monsters can activate their spiritual wisdom and speak human words. But here it's just the opposite. These monsters seem to be a unique existence. Although they have weird monster bodies, they have their own unique way of cultivating their spiritual wisdom. Zhang Hongyi cut off a monster's head directly. Unexpectedly, the monster's body was separated. Not only did it not die, but it attacked Zhang Hongyi again. But at this moment, a Suanjia army attacked directly from Zhang Hongyi's side. Prick! The spear penetrated the monster's body. The mysterious warrior was so powerful that he picked up the monster's corpse and threw it out. Most of these monsters are not even at the 4th level. Facing the powerful Suanjia army, they had no room for resistance. At this moment, Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling met. The location of the key has been found. Key found? After hearing Fang Xianling's words, Yu Qigong finally had a hint of joy on his face. The two of them quickly headed towards the location of the key. But when they came to the center of the demon city, Yu Qigong couldn't help but change his face when he looked at the corpses of monsters on the ground. Especially when they saw several ancient Egyptian warriors guarding the main hall where the keys were stored, their premonition was even worse. Sure enough, Seth walked out of the hall with a golden key in his hand. You guys are a little late. No. It's not too late. Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling stared at the monster in Seth's hand. As early as they learned that other forces were also looking for Godhead, they were already prepared to confront other forces. But they never expected that in the end they would arrive a step too late. Yu Qigong raised his hand and swallowed a pill. In an instant, violent Genkai burst out. Unexpectedly, we ended up using the trump card His Majesty gave us. It doesn't matter, the trump card His Majesty gave us is just for this moment. For a time, the cultivation levels of Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling soared directly to the immortal realm. Seth on the opposite side saw the auras of the two soaring to the immortal realm, and a trace of surprise appeared on his originally calm face. They actually ascended from the realm of saints to the realm of immortals? Was the realm hidden from the beginning? Wrong. It was they who used drugs to forcibly enhance their strength. It's ridiculous. You use drugs to improve your strength and upgrade from the saint realm to the immortal realm. What price did you pay? Talent? Bones? Or the most precious lifespan? As soon as these words came out, the expressions of Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling changed. That's right. Although that elixir can enhance their strength from the saint realm to the immortal realm. But the effect of the medicine is limited. Once the effect of the medicine ends, their cultivation, talents and even lifespan will be reduced. But even so, they took it. If they successfully complete the mission and bring their godhood back, they may be rewarded and restored to their peak level. But if you fail, you will definitely be punished even if you go back alive. Therefore, after repeated weighing, Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling chose to take the elixir. Boom! Yu Qigong took the lead and turned into an afterimage and attacked directly towards Seth. Fang Xianling then mobilized her Genkai, and the entire area was instantly blocked. Now, even if Seth was severely injured by Yu Qigong, he could not escape Fang Xianling's blockade. Oh? Is this your method? Foolish. With a bang, Seth took Yu Qigong's attack with one hand. Yu Qigong's eyes widened and he couldn't believe it. What? He actually blocked his own attack. Suddenly, Yu Qigong felt a crisis coming into his heart. Seth's figure was so fast that he couldn't react and punched him directly. Wow! Several Genkai chains fell from the sky and directly bound Seth's arms. But in just a moment, Seth broke free from the chains of infuriating energy. Fang Xianling spit out a mouthful of blood. Yu Qigong managed to escape Seth's attack by relying on the obstruction of the Genkai chain. How can it be? When Yu Qigong came back to his senses, he only felt the pressure doubled. Everyone is obviously in the immortal realm, why is Seth's aura so terrifying? Seth seemed to be aware of Yu Qigong's doubts. He sneered and a golden scepter appeared in his hand. It seems that you are very confused as to why I can easily resist your attack. It's ridiculous. Do you know that there is a huge gap between immortals and gods? Lord, spend tens of billions of Krypton gold and sign into the god-level arms. Author, Bathing in the Breeze. Chapter 180. As soon as he finished speaking, an astonishing pressure erupted from Seth. A terrifying pressure like a mountain fell on Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling. Feeling this pressure, Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling almost knelt down as their legs became weak. But at this moment, a trace of blood seeped out from the corner of Yu Qigong's mouth. His body began to change. Vaguely, tiger roars could be heard all around him, and Yu Qigong's eyes turned into pupils like wild beasts. Even the nature of his qi has changed. At this time, Fang Xianling seemed to have noticed something. What are you going to do? You forcefully integrate the demon soul with yourself, but there are great risks. If you fail, you will become a beast and never change again. Demonic soul. This is an extremely special existence. Almost every demon general has his own demon soul. When military commanders and demon souls cooperate with each other, they can use their own cultivation to achieve the effect of 1 + 1 being greater than 2. But there is nothing wrong with just cooperation. But if it comes to a dangerous moment, the generals and choices will be completely integrated with the demon soul. At this time, the general's strength will increase exponentially. However, this method will not only cause the monsters in the demon soul to gradually erode the mind, but also cause irreversible demonization symptoms on the body surface if used for a long time. Therefore, ordinary generals would not choose to merge with the demon soul unless it was absolutely necessary. But by this time, Yu Qigong had no means. Do you think we can survive after taking the elixir if we don't defeat the guy in front of us? Yu Qigong's words directly dispelled Fang Xianling's worries. That's right. They were all desperate, so they had nothing to lose. Thinking of this, Fang Xianling narrowed his eyes slightly and noticed drastic changes all over his body. A pure white crane appeared around Fang Xianling, and the two merged with each other. Fang Xianling's body began to grow pure white feathers one after another. But he didn't care, and still mobilized the true energy in his body without any scruples. Rumble. Huge amounts of true energy surged out, and the entire barrier began to become extraordinarily thick. In the barrier, Set, the nine-pillar god, felt a coercion shrouding his body. His body, which could still move easily, suddenly felt as if it was being shackled, and his movements began to become extremely slow. Damn it! He was actually suppressed by a being from the immortal realm. But before he could react, Yu Qigong had already arrived in front of him again. Not good. Seth noticed something was wrong. He immediately raised the golden scepter in his hand to resist. When, following a crisp sound, violent power spread around like a storm. Just the aftermath of the battle directly destroyed half of the buildings in the entire demon city. And Tamamo looked at such a shocking battle and couldn't help but take a breath of air. Is this a battle between gods? Tamamo took a look at the demon city, and he was afraid that the demon city could not be preserved. But Tamamo had no feelings for these little demons. Otherwise, she wouldn't live outside the demon city. Now, he must pass this news to Lu Jin. Lu Jin, who was on the periphery, soon received the news from Tamamo. Demon soul? Immortal realm. Interesting. Lu Jin didn't expect that there were a lot of hidden tricks between Yaotang and ancient Egypt. And that nine-pillar god Seth, if Lu Jin guessed correctly, he is at least a demigod. Otherwise, how could it be possible to deal with the attacks of Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling so easily? But Yu Qigong and Fang Xuanling's improved elixirs and demon souls were something Lu Jin never expected. Compared to the previous life, the demon Tang's strength in this life has actually improved so much. In their previous lives, Yu Qigong and Fang Xianling were clearly only at the first level realm, not even beyond the first level realm. But now he is already in the saint realm. Are they really who they are? Or is it an existence summoned from other time and space? Thinking back to all the situations he encountered in Manhu, and the tip he got. Yao Tang, I'm afraid it's not as simple as I thought. Thinking of this, Lu Jin stood up. The snipe and the clam are fighting for the fisherman's profit. It's time to harvest the battlefield. Lu Jin took a step forward and arrived at the edge of the so-called demon city in a blink of an eye. Boom! As soon as he arrived at the edge of the demon city, Lu Jin heard a violent explosion. After feeling it carefully, Lu Jin smiled slightly. The battle is not over yet, but both sides are at the end of their tether. It's time. In an instant, Lu Jin appeared on the battlefield. 9 dragon helmets appear all around. Boom! Lu Jin raised his hand and stood directly between the two. Yu Qigong, Fang Xianling, and Seth couldn't help but feel nervous when they saw the sudden appearance of Lu Jin. He studied all the books. Demigod. How dare a mere demigod to be so arrogant? It can be said that Lu Jin took every step steadily. Compared with Seth and others who had no chi, the quality of his chi and the strength of his methods were countless times higher. These include a series of books recording the methods of gods such as typing Yaoshu and taking Danjing. Unexpectedly, this word actually fell on me today. Ants. Hidden strength. They all know that they are at the end of their strength. Lu Jin chuckled. He usually called others ants. The corners of Lu Jin's mouth rose slightly. I was originally considering using a whole card, but it looks like I don't even need to use my whole card to kill you. What a shameful name. At this time, Seth held the golden scepter and looked down at Lu Jin. He is a high-ranking 9-pillar god. But soon, they felt Lu Jin's cultivation strength. He spit out a mouthful of blood and couldn't believe his eyes. No. How could you hurt me? Looking at Seth in the sky, Lu Jin glanced at Seth and couldn't help but laugh. Unexpectedly, at this time, someone actually jumped out. What he hates most is when others mention his cultivation. Court death. Immortal realm. Boom. The violent lightning fell directly from the sky like a spear. Haha, a fairy dares to intervene in their battle? Seth's eyes widened in anger, and he released an astonishing amount of energy that turned into a sharp blade and struck at Lu Jin. Seth was directly pierced by lightning in the air. You know, Lu Jin was not idle during his stay in the immortal realm. Is there a possibility that you are too weak? Aren't you a fairy? Are you hiding your strength? Upon hearing these words, Seth's face suddenly became very ugly. When Lu Jin looked at Seth, the amusement in his eyes was not concealed at all. Thunder and lightning, invite. You ants, you dare to interfere in my battle.